Hogwarts uses magic, including wires.
Welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. We post 3 videos a week. Hit that subscribe button and visit asart.space for our audio podcast links. John, we're back in the magical wizarding world of Harry Potter. Oh my goodness gracious, I forgot.
I thought you were going to butcher that whole sentence. We're back. We're back.
Yes, and we're going to talk about mistakes in the first movie. These weren't like mistakes. I guess you wouldn't call them mistakes, but just like, yo, there's a camera guy there, or like, yo, you left the wires in there, or was Harry on that side or this side? Stuff that happens.
So I was just going to say, you definitely cannot call these mistakes. They're more of like, okay, if you're really, really, really watching, things that you might notice. And this is stuff that happens in movies all the time. They have marks where you're supposed to stand because you need to pull focus from one position to another. Or they're shooting scenes months apart. They're doing pickup shoots. Maybe they needed something else. And they have someone on the set that's taking pictures of every angle of everybody, detail. Every set. Was this piece of cloth sitting here? Was this piece of cloth sitting there? Was the blaster sitting? Anything you can think of, they document that so they can have continuity. Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't come out perfectly for so many different reasons. Yeah. And these are some very minor things that, if nothing else, are fun to be able to look at next time you watch the movie. Yes. You probably wouldn't have noticed otherwise. So
because they even come back like 3 months to 6 months later for reshoots, and they're looking at these photos, like trying to compare to stuff. Like, Anywho, let's get into it. Let's go into right after Harry gets in to Gryffindor. He gets the sorting hat says, and he's like, "Yeah, go over to the cool people table." Because all the cool people are in Gryffindor in this movie, apparently, because all of his friends he meets and are all Gryffindor kids. But
the hat didn't say go over to Gryffindor. He said, so you don't want to be Slytherin? All right, fine. Whatever you want, Harry. We're going to throw the system every year, so you win anyway. I might as well let you go to the team you want.
Dumbledore's just going to give you 50 points for brushing your teeth this morning. But
being brave and flossing, extra points, Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. So they go. He sits down and he gets down to the table. He sits next to Ron's brothers, the twins. And then you're like, oh, good job, Harry. Good job. Yeah, yes. And then when you cut back to him later, he's on the other side of the table by Hermione and the other brother. Like, they literally picked him up and moved him. Like, how did this happen? Like, he got up while Dumbledore was talking and was like, oh, excuse me. Sorry, I know I'm new here, but I just want to sit next to that girl.
You know what? You're new in school. You want to meet the girls. I think it makes perfect sense. Who want to sit next to? 2 twins that are going to make fun of you? Or the girl?
Okay, first of all,
you're smart.
Fred and George are my favorite characters. don't be. I would sit next to Fred and George. I would sit in the middle and be like, okay, what are you guys gonna do? You guys gonna do something there? What's gonna happen there? Right? They always playing pranks and stuff. My homies. There's a shot of McGonagall with the floating candles and whatever, and you see the wires on the candles still. That's so cool. I love seeing stuff like that because it's like they're probably watching it and they probably didn't even realize it. And even if someone did realize it, they're like, no one else is going to see this unless they go frame by frame.
And that's the important things about doing films. It's like, okay. And on a film like Harry Potter, I'm actually surprised they didn't fix it because it's such a big budget release. But okay, we can painstakingly paint these out. But is anybody really going to notice them? Now, honestly, those of you that are watching this, without knowing those are there, have you ever noticed them? And if none of you ever have, or the vast majority of us probably haven't, all right, then they didn't need to take them out. It's just a fun little, not Easter egg, it's a fun little trivia fact that if you want to go in, you're like, all right, cool. Like that there. It's interesting.
Totally happens. And jump back in time in the story to when Harry's talking to the snake, right? And he's like, oh, look at your number or whatever, boo-doo, thanks kind of thing. But doubly but remember he's like, there's a snake, and he starts like banging on the window. He's like, talk to me. There's a shot of the cage and there's no snake, but as soon as he falls in, the snake's like all over the place where he should be, like in the cut. So it's either just like that's fine, no one's gonna notice, we can save money with the shot having the snake there or whatever. But that was very interesting, which happens all the time. It happens all the time. Like in Lord of the Rings, when the ring wraith walks behind, or when he's on the horse and he walks behind the tree and the stump and he appears, you don't see him coming to the right, even though there's an empty space there. You just see him walk out from the other side. And I think even Elijah Wood was like, was that supposed to happen? Even the people in the film were like, wait a minute, is he magical? Which could work in a magical world. But anyways, back to the wizarding world of Harry Potter, some magical stuff. John, did you have anything to say about the snake?
Well, I just thought it was funny. They actually prodded the snake to get it to move. I thought that was hilarious.
So there's actually a shot where you can see them push the snake to get into place, which is cool because that was a real snake then. And then back to our visual effects video that we did. We talked about the snake and stuff. That looks freaking amazing. How wild they combine the two now. If you guys haven't watched it, watch our VFX. We break down all the VFX films of Harry Potter. Check them out. Kid actors, come on. You got to love kid actors. They're new. They're just doing whatever they do. If they say to go stand on that piece of tape, they'll go stand on the piece of tape or not, which we saw when they visit Hagrid and he's baking the dragon egg. He's like, ooh, dragon egg.
Yeah, and it's funny. If you really paid attention very, very close to movies, you probably see that far more. I mean, they'll either put like a painter's tape or gaffer tape on the ground just to say, Mark, okay, we're going to be focused on the lens right here. So when you guys if you're working on an actual film set, you don't have autofocus and things like that. You have someone that's just pulling focus to where, okay, we're going to start at this, and they'll put little tape marks on the lens. Okay, as they're walking, we're going to adjust the lens from here focused to here focused. Yeah. And that's a dedicated job. And honestly, it's pretty darn hard because you're having to guess at what rate they're moving when they hit that mark. But since you need to hit the right spot on the lens, you need to predetermine where you're going from and where you're going to. So in this case, whether it's a dynamically changing, shifting focus or not, if they're pulling focus, you need to know, okay, I need to make sure that they're standing there because that's where we've set our focus to. And so in that case, they had black tape on the ground so it blended and would be hard to see, which it is. I've never noticed it before. But yeah, they had that tape on the ground so they know, okay, they're going to be roughly in focus. Yeah, where they step off, that's fine. But that being said, when you're actually acting, and you don't want to look down at your mark and see where you're supposed to be standing, hopefully you're just acting and you're kind of cognizant of where you're going to be. So
good job,
that's
kids.
Just kind of a fun
they
thing
didn't look down at their feet like noobs. Good job. I mean, they're doing their job.
Yes, Hagrid, I am here.
Yeah, now I am. Okay, the next one. Harry is hanging on to the Trolls club, and you see like the crew's like water bottles and equipment on the ground. Those don't belong in Hogwarts.
Water bottles are always the best. You have Game of Thrones water bottles.
No, the coffee cup.
Water bottles.
The coffee cup in season 8. That was like the biggest thing that hit because they let it air. But what's cool about digital, you can re-upload it with a fix.
Did they change it?
Yeah, they changed it.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know they fixed it.
Yeah, it was like a Starbucks coffee cup or something like that. And then they changed it. Yeah. It's so cool. Like, come on, she's having her coffee. He was probably like shooting at like either the wee hours in the morning or whatever, and she's like having her sip of coffee. She's
it's like, roll. It's like the person that's working okay, continuity. We have to change your makeup. Let me just set down my Starbucks here for a second. All right, so your makeup's right. All right, here we go.
Oh my gosh, and then that would be so funny.
Yeah.
And then
continuity's on, except for the.
And I think the last one was the troll sequence. The towel on the wall in the bathroom's like perfectly taut and like even and stuff, and then when you cut to other shots, it's all messed up, which is totally really, there's a freaking troll going around in the room swinging stuff, but I don't think he hits that wall, so it's just funny that it's
and you know what's the funniest thing about all that? I don't care. It's a towel on the wall. I do not care.
You don't?
No.
Well, guys, let us know if you like that. Let us know about some mistakes that we couldn't find or we didn't see anywhere. There's so much more out there, but I was trying to find the ones that are a little bit. There were some that were just like, this isn't even worth bringing up kind of thing. But we want to do more of the other videos. Let us know if you like this, because there's Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings we could talk about, even with VFX when arms go through saddles and fun stuff like that because there's no rotoscoping. So much good mistakes out there to talk about. I mean, if you like mistakes, we have a whole deepfake video series dedicated to our mistakes.
Yeah, our mistakes, not other people's, our mistakes.
Yes. So if you like Harry Potter, we have deepfakes from Harry Potter. We recover the VFX shots from Harry Potter, and we have our mistakes from the deepfakes. Please subscribe if you like our content. Let us know what we should do next.
Check out AsArt.space for all the audio and video links, and we'll see you on the next AsArt.